So today I'll give you a demo on a sputtering system. So this is our sputtering system. So here we have 4 chambers. One is the C1 chamber for oxides, C2 chamber for metals, and C3 chamber for parallel sputtering. So this is a special purpose, and these two are confocal. Here we can use two targets at the same time, so it is called confocal sputtering. So the targets are angled towards the center, so that's why I will call it as confocal sputtering. This one and this one. And then C3 it is parallel. So here we use noble metals normally. And behind we have other chamber, which is C4 chamber, that is for CVD system. So here we have two load locks. One is this load lock left hand side, and one is here on the right side. This is load lock right hand side. So these are used for loading the samples. So initially, suppose we want to do some process in C1, the oxide chamber, then we will load this sample from this load lock, and then we will transfer the sample here for oxide sputtering. After oxide sputtering, we can do in situ annealing here up to 800 degrees Celsius. So after that, suppose we want to deposit metal, then we can open this seat valve and transfer it to C2, and here we can do metal sputtering. This way we can make MOS structures without exposing our samples to the atmosphere. So this is the basics, and then we call this one as the seat valve. So this is used to connect the load lock and chamber 1, and this is the seat valve used to connect the chamber C1 to C2. Similarly, this seat valve connects chamber C2 to C3. And one more is there, this one, for C3 and RHS connection. So normally these seat valves are to be closed always. We have to open them only when the pressure in both adjacent chambers is same. Like if the pressure in load lock left hand side is similar to the C1 chamber, then we have to open this, otherwise not. Then we have a 4-line here on the back side. So this 4-line, this is called 4-line, which is the connecting line to all the chambers. So if we can go to the back side of the sputtering system, we can see better. So this is the back side view of the sputtering system. So this is the 4-line. It is connected to all the chambers, C1, C2, C3 and C4. So this is the turbo pump. So it is from Edwards. So this is connected to the 4-line, and the backing to this turbo pump is given through this bellow pipe. So this is our rotary pump. This is the dry rotary pump. So initially we turn on this rotary pump, so it starts to make vacuum in the bellow pipes. So it has total 7 bellow pipes connected to it. This one goes to the load lock left hand side. This one goes to the turbo pump backing. This goes to the C4 chamber. This one is going to chamber C2, and this one is going to chamber C1. This one is going to chamber C3, and the last one is going to chamber this left hand side load lock. So additionally we have pneumatic valves here. So this, you can see, this is the pneumatic valve. So when we are pressing the 4-line button, which I will show you in the main panel of this sputtering system, then this valve will connect this bellow pipe to the turbo pump. Similarly, everywhere on every bellow pipe there is one pneumatic valve connected. For example, you can see here one pneumatic valve is connected to C4. If we open the rough valve of C4 chamber, then this will turn on and the bellow pipe will be connected to chamber C4. Therefore, the rotary pump will start pumping in chamber C4. So these are the pneumatic valves. So after this we have attached gauges here, vacuum gauges. So this is the Pirani gauge. This is connected to, this is from Edwards, and this is connected directly over the head of the rotary pump. Similarly, we have the panning gauge, which is connected to the 4-line. So this red colored gauge is called the panning gauge, and it is connected to this 4-line to see the ultra high vacuum greater than 10 power minus 2 to 10 power minus 8 millitorr, and this is to see vacuum from 1 atmosphere to 10 power minus 3 millibar. Holes are there which are used for connecting chamber adjacent chambers or load lock of the chamber. Similarly, we have, but these are manual, and similarly we have gate valve. So this is the gate valve. So this is motorized. So this gate valve is connected to the 4 line and the chamber. Similarly, this gate valve is connected to chamber 2 and 4 line. And the last one is to this one, chamber C1 and 4 line. And this is for this gate valve is to connect the 4 line to the chamber C4. So these are motorized. Their control is on the front panel. So this is the front panel of the sputtering system. So here we have connected 3 MFCs for controlling the gas flow. One is for argon, one is for oxygen, one is for nitrogen. And then we have a turbo pump controller here. This one is the TAC controller from Edwards. This shows basically the display for the gauges. That is the Pirani and the panning gauge of Edwards, which is connected. One is connected this below one. APGX is connected above the rotary pump, and this one AMX is connected to the 4 line. This is the panning gauge. So as you can see, it is showing pressure to -6 order. So this is panning gauge, and the -2 order is Pirani gauge. Okay, then we have one RF power supply. This is from Advanced Energy, and one is the DC power supply from AppLab. And this is the RF matching network. And these are the gauges, Pirani gauges, which are connected to individual chambers and the load locks. So as you can see, this is for left load lock, this is for C4 chamber, this is for C1 chamber, this is for C2 metal chamber, this is for C3 metal chamber, parallel chamber, and this is for right load lock. Okay, and this is one thing is left. This is the thickness monitor from Inficomm. So here we can see the thickness of the deposited thin films. Okay, so this is the overview of the sputtering system. So in the next part, I will explain you how to operate the system.